Hey, you're heading to the village, right? Tiernan should let you in. Take this medicine to my father, will you? Goban is a loud man. You shouldn't have trouble finding him. I can't promise that talking to him will be any fun. Come to me afterwards.
Ah, he used to serve too. In fact, he was the builder before me. Now he's just an old fart angry at the world.
But a father is a father, right? We may hate each other, but as long as I can help him, I will. Hence the medicine.
If Haber doesn't know, then I don't either. So we keep trying. Because he received orders not to let any keeper through without a pass, and I don't have one. I've already used mine. Guess what I used it on? That's right, bringing medicine to my father. When that Egypt gets an order, he's like a priest who stumbled into an orgy. He's got a stick up his ass. Nothing gets through him. Not all keepers have been here their entire life, you know? He got me before he joined the Horns. Serves me right for wanting to find him, stupid son of a bitch. If only I knew what it would entail. I don't know. Following my old man here was all I ever wanted. Never saw myself as anything else. Tried picturing myself as a husband, a father once. But nah. I wouldn't know how to raise a kid. I'd just mess them up. Like father, like son, I guess. Well, no, of course not. We're not priestesses of the All-Mother. A woman can be an old crone and still devote herself to the All-Mother. But a man's got to have some fight left in him to be a keeper. Old enough to hold a sword, young enough to not break under its weight. We all got different roles around the keep, sure. But at the core, we're warriors. Don't forget that. If I had a gold coin for every time someone asked me that, I could fund the damn thing myself. Look, it's Camelot's orders. I get paid to follow them, not to question them. If they want to throw money at us to keep up appearances, that's their problem. I'm not about to stop them. Stay out of trouble. Stay out of trouble.
Oh, Mother have mercy. Not another one. If I let you pass, will you promise not to make any trouble? That's just my luck. Take the post, Tiernan, they told me. You'll be looking after a village full of old farts. That's practically early retirement, they said. What a load of crap. There's always something. If it's not the deck falling apart, it's a refugee running around biting people. No need to tell me that. But I can't just go back to patrolling the walls. I'd be a laughingstock. I'd rather sit here and hope everything works itself out. I mean, everyone's gotta die someday, right? So whether it's me or them, at least my problems will be over. Well, to be fair, he only bit one person. But it was a keeper. I know Mahone can be a piece of shit sometimes, but gods. Now both of them are sick. And Haber's got no clue what's wrong. which is the only reason that refugee isn't dead yet. So, he's sitting in a cage, his wife's crying all day, and everyone's pissed. Meanwhile, I'm stuck in the middle of it all. No, not really, fortunately. The deck? Nah, just old wood. Honestly, it's the least of my problems. But I've got no way to fix it. Dara's always busy with his lighthouse, and every time I try to do it myself, someone else needs me for something. I can't even sneak out to the tavern because last time some rich bint started complaining that everything here smells of fish. That's a seaside village. What else would it smell of? You do that? That would be a huge relief. Well, maybe not huge. There are bigger problems, but it'd be a start. Truth be told, I don't know why they want it so badly. It's for boats. No one here even uses boats. But, well, you know how it is with old folks. Once they get fixated on something, there's no point in arguing. I'd pay if I could, but this was supposed to be my job. The budget's long gone. But if you're interested, I could teach you a thing or two about home decor. Not exactly standard keeper knowledge, but, well, we all have our secrets. Surprised? Can't blame you. This might sound odd coming from someone stationed in a glorified fish bucket, but I've got a thing for furniture. The only thing more mismatched than the barracks around here is my career choice. But, yeah, I like imagining places where things fit. Where chairs don't wobble, tables don't look like someone hacked them together with a dull axe, and beds, well, beds don't feel like they're plotting your murder while you sleep. Not exactly a secret I broadcast. Most folks see me as Tiernan the Grumbler. But, hey, we've all got something that keeps us sane, right? Mine just happens to be daydreaming about nicer chairs. Oh, she's a real piece of work, that one. Her name's Lady Elisa. Something. I don't remember. She came here with her husband. Poor man. I never heard him get a word in. You know, sometimes I regret not getting married. But if I had a wife like her, I'd just end up being a keeper all over again. Ah, it's you. Do you need something? No, not really. Fortunately. See you around.
I hope Kate isn't making Morris do anything horrible. Do you need help settling in, dear? This isn't the best day to start a new life in this place, but we don't always get to choose, do we? What a nasty business with that boy. I'm almost glad my Morris isn't here for this. He's such a bleeding heart. I'm sorry, dear. I hope I didn't offend you. I'm still not used to all this. You see, I was born in Little Grove and thought I would live out the rest of my life there, working in the orchards in the mornings and drinking warm cider with my beloved in the evenings. We never wanted to see the world. I guess sometimes the world doesn't give us a choice, does it? That's what people say, but I never agreed. I weathered many storms with my Morris, coming out stronger each time. Avalon taught us to cherish the little joys of our everyday life. Without those lessons, we wouldn't have survived what happened to our village. Little Grove was raided by bandits, a local gang that had been terrorizing the area for months, growing in numbers with each raid. Their leader, Bald Kate they called her, somehow got hold of a branding iron used to mark outlaws. After pillaging a village, she'd brand some men and women of her choosing. That way, Kate made sure nobody would ever help them, and that they'd have no choice but to turn to her if they wanted to survive. My Morris used to be a skilled tanner. I guess that's why she picked him. Yes, I asked him to. He wanted to run with me, but he was still feverish after the branding. I was worried he'd die on the road. Now, I don't have many kind words for Kate, but she doesn't like her efforts to go to waste. As long as he stayed, she'd make sure he was healed. I hated leaving him there, and I hate to think of what she's making him do, but I hope he's at least still alive. Of course I did, right after I got here. The only answer I got was that they're aware of the bandit problem and are dealing with it. But I've heard rumours that the gate is always shut and the keepers are forbidden to leave. So, I've got no hope there. Look at me, love. I'm just an old woman. I've lived a quiet life, never learned any skills Kate would find useful. She has no need for useless mouths to feed, and Morris, well, he didn't want me to stay anyway. He said we'd find our way back to each other, but I'm starting to fear we'll have to wait for another life. From what I've heard, they decided to stay in Little Grove for a while, drinking my cider to the last drop, no doubt. Not like they have to worry about the authorities. The only ones we saw were the Camelot tax collectors that came by once a year. Other than that, not a uniform in sight since I was a little girl. Oh, Mother bless you, my dear. That's all I could ask for. Please, let me know as soon as you learn anything. Oh, I'm not sure, love. I don't move around too much. I just heard about that fight with the rude keeper, and now poor Cole's locked up in a cage. Him and Patrice make such a lovely young couple. They remind me of Morris and me when we were their age. At first, it wasn't so bad, but now it gets worse every day. We just sit around here, doing nothing. Don't get me wrong, we have food, we have a roof over our heads, and we're grateful for that. But no one trusts us enough to let us do any work. None of us wants to be a freeloader, as they call us. I wouldn't mind a task or two to earn my keep and to take my mind off my troubles. I might not be all hale and hearty, but I've still got two good hands, which is more than you can say about some of the codgers living here. Stay safe, dear. Take care of yourself, love.
Thought I'd be alone today. Oh, it's you. I've already told you I'm not going anywhere. If you want something from me, then... Oh. I don't know you. I'm Dugald. You're not one of us. And you're not local either.
You could have chosen a better time to come here. Kind of poor ambience, if you know what I mean.
Well, at least we have a roof over our heads. My boy Frank and I came here with the others. We left our village because... we had to. Well, I had to. But Frank is a good lad, so he came with me. I took him in, you know?
Found the poor sod at the mill, sleeping in the hay. He was chilled to the bone back then. But I could tell he'd be a strong lad once he thawed out. He used to help out on the farm.
He's young, but he already has a couple of tattoos. Tribal ones. Means he must have been cast out of the Del Rita.
At first, the people in our village gave him dirty looks. But then they realized he wasn't a bandit.
He was a good, hard-working kid. Then they started to treat him as one of their own. Frang is a quiet boy, and he doesn't talk much about himself. I feel like those days with the Reader are long buried for him. Almost like he never lived them. Roscree. Few shacks and a small field of grain. I was a miller back there. My daughter married a good, hard-working man. Eventually, I gave them the mill.
Still helped around, but wanted to let the young folks learn how to work there. Then this kid, Frank, came along. Everything seemed to be going pretty well.
Of course, something happened. Life here can't just be bearable. Oh no. Everything has to get screwed up somehow. That's the way it goes in this cursed land. My dear Trina and her bairn. They got caught by a weird beast. I started to hit the bottle and finally, my son-in-law kicked me out. I left Roscree. And so did Fran. He says he has some kind of life debt. And he won't leave me alone until one of us drops dead. No. Nothing to go back to. Although it's hard to get used to something different when you've been sitting on your ass in one place for your whole life. I didn't expect to become a vagabond in my old age. To be honest, I'm a bit confused about what's going on. Usually it was me who yelled at everyone, and now I feel like a drudge. And this nasty thing with Cole. Poor lad. Shouldn't have ended like that. He and Beatrice got along very well. Let me tell you something. When I saw all these wrinklies around here, I thought this place would suit me. But then all this shit happened. I suspect we won't stay here long.
You've come to put me in the cage. Sorry. Just a bit of grim humor. You know, about what's been happening here. Such a mess, isn't it? Cola's all right, and Beatrice, what a shame. Such a fine girl. Anyway, I'm Ellis. Nice to meet you. What do you need? Well, I'm Ellis. Goldsmithing is my life and passion. And between you and me, I feel like I'm losing my mind without it. When I hold tools and make beautiful things, it feels like I can bring some light into this wretched world. I wish I was somewhere where I could just do some goldsmithing, but I'm a bit scared. So, here I am, sitting on my ass in some village listening to waves and the screams of seagulls and old men. Nothing to write home about, even if I still had one. I was working as a goldsmith in a group of, let's call them, business people. I was once traveling with a caravan that got attacked by him. Their chief was a smart guy. The moment he heard I was a goldsmith, he knew what to do with me. He got me converting all the jewelry they stole into new pieces. Do you want to hear what I did once? Ah, come on. They were just people. They treated me well and respected my work. Everyone thinks that every bandit is a heartless murderer. We went to Timberwall. The gang wanted to rob some merchant's house. We holed up in a seedy tavern and waited for the right moment. Then, one night they broke in, came back with a whole load of trinkets. Beautiful stuff. The moment I saw it all, I instantly knew what I wanted to craft. They gave me a couple of days, tinkered for a bit, and then, ta-da! Brand new merchandise. After I was finished, I dressed myself all nice, went to that merchant's house and went, "Good morning, kind sir. I'm a goldsmith. My work is renowned in all of Camelot. Would you be interested in what I have to offer?" You know what he said? Of course I would. That nonce bought the entire lot, even though I inflated the prices like a street peddler. And when I came back, the others couldn't believe their eyes. I thought I was gonna keel over. I miss that.
Each day feels heavier.
Something happened. Frang listens. I'm not from anywhere. Frang is attached to nowhere. I found a home with Dugald. I owe him a life debt. Frang was never a dull reader. Not without a name. Without a name, you are nobody in the tribe. Like me. And if that lasts too long, you must leave. I left and became Frang. Frang. A name, and not a name. Nothing happened to Frang. A stray taken in by a miller. That's all. Frang cannot be a Dalriada. His mother was. But the tribe decided that he was not worthy of a name. That is why he is not of the tribes. Conquer. Wolf. Strong. Important name. Not seen in the south for a long time. Must be dead. A place without a leader. As I see it, it will finally fall apart. One way or another. There are no tales about a place that survived without a strong leadership. And it's not about kings, nobleshites, or chieftains. Titles are just words that pull the wool over a man's eyes. What's needed is a strong soul with a strong name. and their names mean as much as Frang's, which is to say, nothing. Now they're a bit like Frang, strays with no home. But Threes is strong, despite what happened with Cole. Ellis, he's funny. I like him. Rawson, I know nothing about her. And Dugald, a man who became Frang's father. He has my gratitude. Don't bother. Frang never met the Keepers, but the unnamed boy did. Once, a few of them, many years ago, we fought. The unnamed boy survived even though he showed fear. Should it do that? The Keepers approached the camp of the boy's people, but that past does not belong to Frang. I'm Frang.
Wish I'd stayed asleep.
What do you want? To gawk at the beast? Well, I'll have to disappoint you. My Cole is not the monster you all believe him to be. Oh, really? And what exactly did he tell you? That the man in the cage is a monster? That he deserves death? No? Cole isn't like that. This isn't who he is. Something is poisoning his mind and soul. I don't know what it is, or why it happened to Cole. But now we're all at the mercy of those damned Keepers. One evening there was a quarrel between our group, the villagers, and one of the Keepers. They'd had a bit too much to drink and let some comments slip. They hurled insults at us, saying there's no place for us here, that we should just get the hell out of here because things are hard for everyone. Hard? Sure. I bet that bunch of wimps wouldn't last a week outside. All they do is sit in that keep of theirs, thinking they're the defenders of justice. Well, Cole went mad. I've never seen him like that before. He attacked that keeper and bit him. It was serious. But the Keeper survived. If it weren't for the other men from the village, things could have ended very differently. Afterwards, they chained Cole up and locked him in a cage. His condition started to worsen. They said a monster like him doesn't deserve a jail cell. Jail cells are for humans. Bastards. This might sound silly, but before we reached the keep, we came near a strange structure. The locals call it the Arch Spire. In the morning, we realized everyone had a strange dream, but it was a little different for each of us. Cole started acting weird after that, and in time, it only got worse. I was in a strange place. Dark. Full of fog. Eerie. I was trying to find him. I called out, but no one answered. I was alone in the night, and then I kept falling, and falling, and falling. And then I woke up. No, only that, well, it didn't make much sense, but he was convinced that something bit him. He kept checking. It must have been some bug. Something changed by the weirdness. That must have caused his fever, his insanity. Well, it was pretty typical. We started a fire and threw some cobwebs into it. Fran brought them back from one of his treks. That boy could always find them somehow. It was our protection from the night and the weirdness. Ellis was on watch that day, but from what he told us, he eventually fell asleep. We were lucky no one slit our throats. We set up camp near the arch spire. We hoped that bandits wouldn't dare to venture into a place like that. Well, now I know why we could have been right. With everything that's been happening lately, I'm ready to believe in every strange thing in this world.
Oh, right. I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Beatrice. As for me and Cole, well, we left Ree hoping to find a quiet place to rest for a bit.
We planned to travel the King's Road toward Camelot. Well, here we are. We found our bloody Camelot. Cole is locked up and all I can do is shed bitter tears.
Yeah, we grew up there. The village was built around a trade route. My parents ran a tavern that stood right by the road.
We had a good life. We lacked for nothing. Well, that was before the damned grubwood started spitting out monsters.
Then more and more caravans disappeared into the forest. People were telling stories that grew more horrifying by the day. In the end, taking that route meant certain death. The same thing that will happen to every place on this god-forsaken island. Ruin. We used to have generous clientele. Merchants and emissaries from all over Avalon. They had deep pockets, always left lots of gold. But that changed. Then our only income came from the villagers, who were getting drunker and poorer by the day. That was always our plan. Cole and I never wanted to stay there forever. Beatrice and Cole from the village of Ree, that wasn't us.
Yeah. I doubt I'll ever see him again. I don't think there's anything worth going back for. Each of us has a different story. Some wanted to seek their fortune elsewhere, like me and Cole. Some had to flee their homes because of bandits pillaging their villages, or because of the weirdness. Ree could be one of those places by now. There's so much turmoil in this world. People can suddenly lose themselves, becoming a danger to those they once loved. 2 or 3 weeks ago, things were starting to get difficult. The supplies we brought with us were running low. A larger group of people is always helpful. There's always someone to talk to and share the work with. But it also means more mouths to feed, and more worries to deal with. It's not easy.
What? What? How dare you? Do you know the meaning of those flowers in that configuration? Revenge. Revenge, deception, and death. There's nothing nice about it, and I don't know if he did it on purpose or if he's just an idiot. But trust me, it's not a nice gesture. Thank you. For them. You are from nowhere, just like me. That's why I believe you. Take those flowers away, Burn them, throw them in a cauldron, whatever. I don't want to look at them. Be careful out there. Be careful out there.
Bloody hell, look at this! The old place is in a shambles. Bunch of decrepit old coots. They do nothing but shuffle around, stare at walls, and sleep under leaking roofs. Can't even hammer a nail properly. I'm telling you, if I was still working here, this place wouldn't be falling apart. Ah, but I'm not. Oh, shite. I can't even stand to look at it, let alone live here. And who are you? What you want? You another one of Durar's freeloaders? I bloody knew it. Retirement my arse. It's shit. Never a moment of peace. At least when I was still working, there was always something to do. Now, so, what you want? One day my boy got it into his stupid head that old Gaban is ill. Bullshit! They're all telling me I should do something about it, or else I'm done for. I'll be dead as a doornail in no time. Ha! Like hell I will. I'm still here, ain't I? I've served my time. I've lived me life. And now you can all kiss my arse. So there. Listen, they wanted Heber, that healer from the keep, to come here. He did. They wanted him to look me over. He did. Then he just threw up his hands, mumbled something to himself, and that was it. Hell, I should have been an healer. Wouldn't mind going around being a pain in everyone's arse for a living. These herbs. No idea what they're for. Heber said he doesn't know what's wrong with me. So there's no illness. I'm fit as a fiddle. Ah, good thing that at least the one guy who hangs around, Finley's the name, doesn't nag me all the time. Yeah, right. He'd better focus on his job. What's got you so nosy? Pour me a drink, and I might open up. Then you can kiss my arse. I ain't spilling my guts to strangers. Drinking buddies, though. If there's something you want to know, you'll need to treat me first. What's got you so nosy? Pour me a drink, and I might open up. You're digging a little deep, aren't you? Bring me a drink, and I'll consider talking. Ah. So, what was your question? You see, back in the day, being a keeper was a serious business. Now, don't even get me started. You used to come here with a mission, not to run away from your bloody mother. Nowadays, lads get brought here by their own kin when they've had enough of them, or they think the Orns can hide them from the law. No, back in my day there was none of this scum. I came here to serve. My girl cried when I left her, but I've always known this is where I wanted to be. How was I supposed to know she had a bloody bun in the oven? By the time the wean was born, I was already planning the lighthouse's construction. Heck knows what he came here for. That's not my problem anymore, and I don't stick my nose in anyone else's business. Getting a bit curious, I see. hand me a drink, and I'll answer. Maybe. Ah. So, what was your question? That's what he says anyway. But yeah, he's my blood. Eager like me, and look at that bulbous nose. Won't disown what's clearly mine. But I ain't gonna talk with a stranger. It's like half the blighters here don't have working peckers, or they've never even touched a woman. Oh, so many questions. Ah. Hold on. Finley is not my caregiver. He's my helper at most. Hey, first of all, I'm not a cripple who needs a decrepit dimwit running round after me. Secondly, do you know the problem with having a helper who's mute? He doesn't bloody talk. I mean, it's not all bad. At least I don't have to listen to even more bullshit. He puffs up like a marshmallow every time he tries to say something. But I don't understand shit. You sure have a lot of questions. Grab me a drink first, then we'll see. Ah. So, what was your question? I'm starting to like you, stranger. And trust me, it's been a long time since I liked, well, anybody. I liked me brothers in arms back in my glory days. Good lads, every damn one of them. Tough as nails, loyal to a fault. A kind of men you'd want beside you in the darkest holes of Avalon. But they're gone now, all of them. The old captain got it in his head to send us down to rediscover some mouldy tunnels under the keep. Damn fool mission that was. We went in together, but I was the only one to come back out. I can still see all their faces when I close my eyes. A hard loss it was, but I'm still here. Oh, some days I wonder why. Getting a bit too interested, aren't you? Bring a drink over, and I might share. Ah. So, what was your question? Those tunnels, right. Well, me and the lads went down there to check if we could repurpose them under the horns. Damn fool mission that was. But here wasn't just some empty caves. There were monsters, straight out of Age of Legends. Sick stuff. Stuff to get under your skin. Looked like... Ah, hell. Memory's all twisted up now. Like a bloody nightmare mixed with shadows that don't belong. Want to know more? Speak with Fergus. He's in charge of this shit show now. Now, I propose a toast to those lost souls. This one's on me. Feast, you say? Problem is, sometimes I think they never died. They haunt me in my dreams, you know? Bloody bastards. I swear I wanted to go back and retrieve their bodies. But our late captain, like Grindelows piss on his grave, forbade me from going back. But when I drink, I usually pass out, and then I don't remember my dreams. So, I drink. Ah, my brothers deserved better. Can still see their faces. Hard to think they're just gone. Sometimes I think they're still waiting for me down there.
Beer from Kunacht, wine from Farshire, moonshine, only local, the best there is. And fish, lots and lots of fish. What's your poison? Stale fish? Yeah. Look around. You're in the capital of fresh fish. Unless you're buying from Heffen. I can't vouch for him. Here though, take your pick. All today's catch. You mean the old pier? Well, first of all, it's not that old. Brennan was already the captain when it was built. Why is it called that? Don't know. Probably because of all those old folks around. A lot has been happening here lately. Plenty of new faces. I definitely can't complain. I'm finally running a proper tavern. People come and go and the regulars drink as usual, as it should be. Daddy will be proud. Hey, not here, obviously. You won't see your old man here unless your name's Dara. Mine sent me here because he hoped I'd make something out of my life. He never wanted me to pour a beer and look at the same tired mugs day in, day out, but as it turns out, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. I got mauled by a weird beast during a hunt, and after that, the captain decided I wasn't any good for active service, so he sent me here. I was bored out of my mind, and since there wasn't one here, I decided to start a tavern. At least I'm not as bored anymore. No, I don't recall anything like that. But that means... No. Impossible. What if... Holy moonshine. I remember. Sigibald. It was Sigibald who left those documents behind. I've no idea how you found out about it. Sigi. He's dead. Taken by a fever. Aye, of course I have. I didn't just throw them in some cabinet. I was afraid they'd fall into the wrong hands. He was a good man. I wouldn't get rid of my only memento of him. Here, after what you said, I assume you'll make good use of them. Even though I'm still not sure what to think about it. Things are getting weirder and weirder in our beloved Avalon. Well, he died like he lived, with a tankard in his hand. The boys always said Sigi was a friend worth 5 others. And he was. He was a prankster like no other. Once, he slipped a rotten egg into the quartermaster's dinner. Never a dull moment with him, that's for sure. No problem. Listen, if by some miracle you really talked with Sigibald, please, give him my warm regards. I don't understand anything anymore.
Who are you? Another refugee? This place is already crawling with your lot. It's like a Camelosian privy after a feast. In my day, you only saw old, familiar faces round here. And maybe we didn't all love each other, but a local is a local. It was easier to share with others, even when you didn't have much. That's so. Fine. Whatever you say. But yeah, I can see that you don't really look like one of them. Just pass them through then. Shame it had to be now. Not so long ago, we'd have sat down and had a drink with the rest of the lads. Now I come here alone. You asking me? They came here and made themselves at home. I ain't talking to any of them. Orderly. No damn rabble begging at the gates and eating us at a house and home. Yeah, back then, sure, civilians came and went. But housing them, feeding them? We had a room. No freeloading. But I guess that went out the window, along with our pride. It used to mean something to be a keeper. You could come in off the streets and keepers would make a man out of you. Now, bunch of spoiled lordlings sold off to Brandon by their daddies for a bag of gold. Treated like they're made of glass. Soft. Weak. The lot of them. What's there to be proud of? You watch your damn mouth. We did everything we could. I've said it before. We need a whole damn army to keep this region in check. And besides, how do you know these leeches are even telling the truth? Every village wiped out. Just like that? Give me a break. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Do you see anything interesting around here? There's this tavern, and plenty of fish in the sea. Decent place to retire, but not much else. Well, if you're looking to sightsee, try the sunken village. Just don't let the locals tear you to shreds. I don't know, but you could put something on the table, and then maybe we can talk. Thank you. That's better. We used to come here, the three of us. Me, Berg, and Fedley. But lately, something's gotten into Berg, and it all kinda fell apart. Hell knows what happened. One day he just stopped talking to us. We went to his house to get him, but he only cursed a blue streak at us. Say, mate, do you feel like talking to an old obla? I feel bad for him, but I've got no more patience. And Finley? Let's just say Finley's no good at this stuff. Now you're talking. Ever since he got so maudlin, Berg usually sits alone by the sea. Let me know what's wrong with him. That all?
Oi, Noel! What if I pulled Excalibur from that stone, but it broke, but only at the tip? Would I still get to be king, or not?
You're so daft, Randall. Some magical lass living in a lake gave the king the sword when he broke his own bashing four-armed skulls.
So, the one in the stone, what's that called? It's It's not Excalibur, is it?
Nah, the one in the stone was called, don't know. Sword in the stone, I guess.
Sod it. Whatever. So, if I poured the sword in the stone from the, stone, and it broke, but only a little, would I still get to be king?
What? No. You'd have to pull out all of it. Only the one who pulls out the sword gets to be king, yeah? Not the one who pulls out a bit of the sword.
Wait, but if you have a sword and it breaks, do you tell everyone that you have a sword or that you have a piece of the sword? Besides, you can always take it to the smith and he can fix a new tip.
But if he fixes a new tip, it won't be the same sword.
Are you off your knocker? How's it not the same sword? So, what is it now? A ploughshare?
A shit share.
Listen, just listen to me. You've got it all wrong. You've got a sword, right? And then the tip breaks off, so you attach a new one, right? But then, let's just say it breaks again.
That's one shitty sword you have there.
Now, listen to me. Now, damn it. It breaks off, so you fix it with a new piece again. And then it happens again, and again, and again. Until you finally get yourself a whole new blade from the smith. So get this, if the whole blade was replaced, is it still the same sword?
Well, no, it isn't.
There you have it. You just need to be, what's the word? Rational.
Fine. Now let's have a drink. My throat's drier than a priestess purse.
See, now you sound rational.
Excuse me, could you get me a clean glass? And I mean clean, not just wiped 3 times with a dirty rag. My name is Alyssa Murray, and I'm here with my husband, a very important cloth merchant. But surely you must have heard about our family. Not to brag, but we are rather prominent. I am famed amongst Camelot's courtiers for throwing the most magnificent feasts. Well, my Duncan is here on business, of course. A very important contract with the Lightkeepers. I decided to accompany him because I have never been to the South, and I've heard so much about its wild, untamed beauty. So far, it's turned out to be terribly dull. And the smell! It's like stale fish and sweat. Hopefully I don't have to suffer it much longer. Pray, tell me, do you know anyone here who would run a small errand for me? Oh, nothing major. You see, I've had my eye on this beautiful abandoned estate overlooking the sea. It's not very far from here, but it's far enough away from all this rabble. If we stay here for a while, I need a place for myself. You understand that, right? No offense, but I can't keep living in a filthy room at an inn. When I asked the innkeeper to draw me a bath, he brought me a bucket. A bucket! Can you imagine? Fine. The problem is that the manor appears to have some occupants, not legal ones, mind you, who need to be evicted. Forcibly, if there's no other way. You'll do it for me, won't you, dear? Splendid! I can't wait to start decorating. Maybe something nautical, to go with the sound of the waves crashing on the cliffs? Or do you think that's a trifle trite? The people here have been staring at me. I know I must be a novelty for them, but I'm starting to feel uncomfortable. So, have you managed to get rid of our little problem yet?
You see that? Not one, but two noble ladies in a tavern tonight. That's a rare sight around here.
Aye, I saw 'em. You don't see their kind much in places like this. Makes you wonder what brings 'em down here.
One's Lady Elaine, a scholar from Farshire. Thought about talking to her, but I'd probably just make an ass of myself.
Elaine, eh? Yeah, she's known for her smarts. Better keep your mouth shut around her, unless you want to feel about as sharp as a blunt axe.
And the other one, Lady Elisa. Not as smart as Elaine, but she's certainly posh. Got the airs of royalty without the smarts to back it up.
Ha! Elisa, yeah. She's got the looks, but don't expect her to be cracking any books. Doesn't need to. Not with that Duncan by her side. Though from what I've seen, they don't seem to like each other all that much.
Yeah, I've noticed. They sit together but act like strangers. Makes you wonder why they even bother.
Probably all for show. I reckon Duncan's got his own problems, but Elisa, she's too wrapped up in herself to notice.
You seen all the refugees coming from the nearby villages? They're trying to get away from the bandits and the weirdness.
Aye, I've seen 'em. Can't blame 'em for wanting some safety. With bandits and the weirdness creeping closer, who wouldn't be scared?
There may be, but I don't trust strangers. They could be bringing trouble with them. Never know what kind of folk you're letting in.
You're always suspicious. They're just trying to survive, same as the rest of us. Besides, where else would they go?
Speaking of the refugees, you hear about that one Cole? Looks like he's ill or something.
Aye, I heard. Poor lad's in rough shape, but thank the All-Mother it's not the Red Death. We couldn't deal with that here.
Still don't sit right with me. Sick folks in a crowded place? It's a risk, it is.
Maybe, but what are we gonna do? Turn them away? We've all got our burdens to carry.
You remember Sewell Firstfoot's tomb? Used to be a popular pilgrimage spot, but ever since the flooding, nobody's been out there.
Yeah, it's a damn shame. The whole place is forgotten, like it never even mattered. Pilgrims stopped coming after the water rose.
You've heard the rumors, right? Some say the Druids caused the flooding. Honestly, I wouldn't put it past them.
I don't know. Druids? Why'd they bother flooding a whole village? What's in it for them?
Maybe they wanted to keep folks away from something. Or they weren't too fond of Sewell getting all that attention. Druids are a strange lot.
Strange, sure. But flooding a village to stop pilgrims sounds a bit far-fetched to me. Could have been something else entirely.
Doesn't matter much now. The tomb, the village, it's all gone. Nothing but water and memories left.
Aye, a place lost to the depths, and with it, a piece of our history.
Did you hear about the captain's lockdown? Looks like the lads are...
Hello, child. You look competent enough. I can see that you're not of noble blood. Oh, no need to tell me that. I've tutored the children of aristocrats from all over Avalon. Fortunately for you, my opinion of them is not particularly high. Oh, and you don't look like one of the locals. Are you a visitor? Or an adventurer? You can talk. Now, I'm sure we'll get along. My name is Lady Elaine. I oversee the Farshire Library, the greatest collection of books in this part of Avalon. By the All-Mother, Don't tell me you don't know what Farshire is. The largest duchy in the middle of the island, with the wise Lady Kincaid in power, who has a hold over the entire territory. Nothing? Oh, really? Farshire is one of the first duchies on Avalon. It is a beautiful land with lush fields, forests rich in game, and most importantly, the Wordstone mines in the west, the primary source of our wealth. Well, at least that's how I remember it. Now it's a mere shadow of its former glory. Oh, it's a rare and coveted material, necessary to create the sturdiest steel in the world. As you can imagine, dear, it used to be Farshire's greatest treasure, until the primordial fog took our minds. I know, child. I know. Everyone was surprised. Camelot turned up their noses at this for years. But after Lord Kincaid died and Aidan, Lady Kincaid's son, disappeared, the nobles of Farshire decided she could stay on the throne. Even if Aidan had been alive, she would still be ruling as a regent until he came of age. But between you and me, he wasn't a very bright boy. So she would have been ruling until her death anyway. Oh, we're lucky to have her. Difficult times require determined leaders. Worse than ever. Oh, the wordness is thickening, and the roads are getting dangerous and unpredictable. That's why I'm here, wandering Avalon looking for solutions. If I don't do this, who will, hmm? You're probably wondering what a feeble old lady who can't even lift a sword could possibly accomplish. But King Arthur didn't conquer Avalon just because he couldn't swing a blade. No, he had knowledge, and enough wisdom to know how to use it. Lady Kincaid wasn't happy when she found out about this idea. But all mother's mercy, I am her tutor. She cannot dictate what I do, no matter her standing. Oh, do you mean a family? Oh, I've never had time for such trifles. No suitor was ever more interesting than a good book, nor did any of them smell better either. And I've raised enough of other people's children to never wish for my own. Oh, surprising. I'm looking for someone who will help me find a certain artifact. So, are you interested, child? In one of my books, I found a reference to a certain object, a figure most likely, which had the ability to dispel the wordness like a minhair can. Apparently, it can be found on the ship called Andraste, which sank over 100 years ago somewhere in this area. The Last Voyage of the Andraste by Elvis the Lightkeeper. He was one of the more notable keepers. In his waning years, he became an adjutant to Captain Lex. But it's best if you read it yourself. You can read, can't you? But just be very careful. This is a very rare publication. Read it very carefully, and after you're done, come to me, and I'll tell you more. A deal? And they say young people don't want to learn anything. Come on, chop, 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 get to reading. And have you read The Last Voyage of the Andraste? Oh, splendid, splendid. Oh, it's an excellent book, don't you think? Now, let's test your reading comprehension. According to Elvis the Lightkeeper, in the mine near the Horns of the South, they found something that they took with them on the ship. Do you remember what that was, child? That's right. This is the artifact I'm looking for. One that might be vital to repelling the wordness. According to Elvis's description, the figure is smaller than a menhir, and light enough that they were able to carry it to the ship without any trouble. Were it small, it would probably have been placed in Captain Lex's quarters instead of in the hold. I've estimated it should be about 1 meter tall. Good. Next question. What was the Andraste's destination? And you're telling me you've read it? By the All-Mother, it's like dealing with a 10-year-old. You need to read this book a little more carefully, child. Come back when you've done more than just skimmed it. Have you read? Good. What was the Andraste's destination? Correct. Be very careful with what I'm about to tell you. But some believe that the Red Priests are dedicated to studying the wordness instead of the Red Death. Captain Lex must have thought they'd pay him generously for a Four-Dweller artifact. Last question. What sank the Andraste? Yes, you did well, child. I can see that you were paying attention. According to Elvis, the Andraste was sunk by the legendary terror from the deep. But if you want to know more, ask your keeper friends. They should be much better informed. Now, all you need to do is find the wreck of the Andraste and retrieve the mysterious figure. Oh, if only I knew. It must have happened somewhere on the way between the Horns of the South and the Island Asylum. Oh, but where exactly? Fortunately, I know something that could help us. In the Horns of the South Museum, there are some extremely interesting books and documents lying around and collecting dust. Can you imagine having such treasures at hand and choosing to completely ignore them? Oh, barbarians. Among them, you'll find the Andraste's logbook, which was saved by Elvis. I've read it, of course, but I know nothing about sailing. I'm sure such a competent child as yourself will handle it much better. Go to the Horns of the South Museum, read the logbook, and then tell me whether you managed to locate the wreck of the Andraste.
from around here, are you? Come on. Sit down and tell me something about the world out there. Now go on, leave me, like everyone else has. There's nobody left with any sense to talk to. Lady Elisa's voice makes me want to smack her. And Lady Elaine's nice enough. But an old keeper like me doesn't stand a chance with her. And Lady Elaine's nice enough. Don't know. If I knew what to ask, I'd have asked it already. Now that I believe. Everywhere's a mess. Even here. I remember when we were held in the same regard as Camelot. Look at us now. They're taken in wimps. It's nothing like the old days. You bet they were. It's all been falling apart ever since they put Captain Brendan in charge. That one's got 2 coins, whereas I should be, if you ask me. Doesn't care about anyone or anything. He's just looking out for his own skin. Worst captain I ever served under, no doubt. Not that I serve anymore, I'm retired now. Filth everywhere. And it reeks of fish. Everyone's terrified of the weirdness. It's hard to believe I've lived long enough to see times like these. Not that long ago, we used to scare kids with stories about the weirdness. But now? Grown men wet themselves if we tell the same tales. Honestly, I'm done with it all. I don't even recognize this world anymore. And I don't want to. Don't even get me started. Fergus always claims he's busy, but for the life of me, I can't figure out what he actually does. Probably just pretends to work. I talk to Riderick from the museum sometimes, but that one's a real know-it-all. We always end up arguing about how things used to be. If you ask me, they're all just as bad as each other. It's never gonna be the same again. My brothers are gone, and I'm left here, all alone. We had a beautiful tradition. Choosing new keepers was done differently back then. You had to lie down and sleep in a special spot, and... but that's all I'm gonna say. It's a secret, and it looks like it'll die with me. Of course I do. In my day, it wasn't sunken. It was a beautiful, lively place. Pilgrims would visit the All-Mother's Temple and Excalibur, and end up in the village. It broke my heart when I heard about the flooding. They say the Druids caused it, but who really knows? It doesn't matter now, who did or didn't do what. It's over, that's all. Now go on, leave me, like everyone else has. There's nobody left with any sense to talk to. If I'd known I'd end up dying here, I would have deserted long ago. You see that? Not one, but 2 noble ladies in a tavern tonight.
What do you want? Who are you?
Ha! Guess he's got nobody else to get pissed with. Finley never liked drinking alone with him. Titan tends to get into one of his moods. And? What? That's all? You're bothering me just because that old rascal is sitting alone in the inn with nobody to natter to. You people, bugger off.
Buy something or bugger off. Unless you've already bought from Orla. Then just bugger off. Pursue potential customers. Listen here, pal. Clearly you don't understand how trading works in a place like this. I've no idea where you come from, but here, it's the potential customer who needs to pursue the vendor. And that vendor decides to sell to them or not. It's the vendor who makes the decision, not the other way around. How many people here do you think are offering to exchange goods for coins? I'll tell you, not bloody many. Yeah, Orla, a woman merchant from the Keep. Go on, try giving her your money. I bet she'll just shortchange you and call it a day. She has no wit and no finesse when it comes to trading. I wouldn't mind knowing that myself. She stole a lucrative business contract out from under me and my family, then made herself at home here. Damn those Timberwall merchants. Everyone's always yammering about Timberwall. Timber this, timber that. Bugger them all. Remember, good business, only with Connacht. Fair prices, no bullshit. Yes, Connacht. From a merchant family, to be specific. Though I've always wanted to join the Royal Geographers. To chart the uncharted. But I broke my leg, badly enough that I couldn't travel anymore. After the accident, I was stuck at home, sitting on my ass and looking after the books. It was driving me crazy. Not what I wanted from life. You've never heard of them? They're a guild of explorers, dating back to the Age of Legends. They travel across Avalon, documenting all the lost and forgotten places, crawling through hidden caves, discovering old ruins. That's what LSA and I dreamed of. Though, only one of us got to live it. Well, a friend from back home. It was a long time ago. We were both snot-nosed kids who didn't know any better. We'd run around Connacht, drawing maps of every corner we could find. And on the farms, LSA insisted on marking every stone in the fields. My mother used to get on my ass for wasting so much paper and charcoal. Good times. She got in with the geographers, started running errands for them. Well, it was right after my accident. I might have acted a bit rashly. Said some things I shouldn't have. You know how it goes. We stopped talking, and then she'd left Connacht. Haven't seen her since. First thing I did when I arrived was ask the locals what this village is called. And they just said, wait for it, the village. There's also a sunken village nearby. So I asked them what that one was called, and they said, The sunken village. So I asked what it was called before it was flooded, and they told me the village. How do you even work with that? Long enough to know what sells. Not that I'd mind having a wider selection of goods, you know. Some more options on offer. But people here don't need much, so what you see is all I have. Then there's the refugees. For now, I guess they're good business. But long term, doubt it. Sooner or later they'll run out of money. And they don't have any way to earn it since no one wants them here. They'll get kicked out, or they'll just leave and not come back. But there'll be others around to keep the businesses running, more or less. Buying anything?
So much for a secluded cave keeping visitors away. Seems like there's no one on this island to hide in peace. Ah well, since you're here, I have an important question. Do you have any food? I promise to answer all of your questions, no matter how annoying or asinine they might be. But first, do you have any food? Oh dear. Yes, food. That stuff you put in your mouth to make sure your body doesn't wither and die, you know? Fish, meat, vegetables, bread. Oh, some bread would be especially nice. But I'll take anything, really. No, I cannot. My doctrine forbids me from killing any living being, even one as mindless and insignificant as a fish. Or that of an annoying trespasser who won't stop tormenting a starving man with inane questions. Thanks. I'll be forever indebted to you. But don't expect much. The only payment I can offer you is seashells, or, you know, access to an infinite well of ancient druidic wisdom. I'd rather you choose wisdom. I threw out my collection of seashells a few days ago after I stepped on them with my bare feet. Much better. Time for a nap. Oh, except you're still here. Oh no, don't tell me you still have questions. My name is Drest, and I am the local hermit. I don't understand your skepticism. I live alone, in a cave, collect seashells, and occasionally talk to crabs. What else could I be? But didn't you know? There are no more druids. The mob rounded them all up, stuffed them into a giant wicker man, and lit a fire. Their screams could barely be heard over the roaring flames, but the stench of the burning flesh easily overwhelmed the smell of blazing wicker. Its glow painted the sky in reds and yellows for the entire night. Some years ago? I'm not sure. I don't remember. Can we change the subject? I'm sure there are more interesting things we could be talking about. Well, I live here, obviously. Why not? It's a perfectly good cave, albeit a bit drafty and damp. Well, it could be better, to be honest, but we can't all live in mansions, can we? The same way you did, I presume. Am I? That's odd. No one ever accused me of that before. Well, I guess that's what living alone in a cave does to your conversational skills. Oh, you know what would be nice? A bath. I do miss baths. I suppose when someone says they miss the taste of roast pork, you tell them to go lick a pig. Anyway, show me the scroll. Yes, I see. Well, you should definitely follow the ritual. Just make sure you do everything exactly as it is written. I'm sorry, I can't tell you anymore, but it is essential that you discover it for yourself. Revealing the details would spoil the effect. The pursuit of knowledge often requires taking great risks. Now, off you hop. The ritual awaits.
Try not to get yourself killed.
You're back! Hi! I told you, Ron is a good guy. And here's a little something for you. You know I pay well. Yes? What's the matter, my friend? You're really good at this today. Wait. Oh. Oh, you're serious. I understand. For so many years, I've been afraid to open this letter. But it looks like I needed to read it. Well, it is what it is, right? And I've been wondering why no one wants to talk to me. I thought to myself, are they mad at me or what? But why are you talking to me? How can you see me? Anyway, may the All-Mother bless your path. See you next time. Not exactly. You've already been to Ron's tavern, so you've seen one. But since we're mates now, I suppose I can tell you about something. Listen closely. A few of us had a little gambling ring. Not to brag, but I was quite good at it. The winnings aren't much use to me anymore, so if you're interested, I'll tell you where I stashed them. Here. Just mind the waves. Ooh, Ern, Armand, and Richt. Haven't seen them in a long while, so I've no clue what they're up to now. But I'd wager they've got their own stashes hidden somewhere too. Cunning bastards. Oh, yes. Great place, great people. And before I became a keeper, let me put it this way. I've done a lot more for a lot less. Here, you can always have a meal and some kind of shelter above your head. And that's something, isn't it? Sure, you can make more gold as a leader, but that comes with much more responsibility, my friend. Go on then. Fortune favors the bold. Or so they say. So the bitch understood the meaning, yes? I'm glad. They should all be scared shitless. Even more so after Cole got what he deserved. Congratulations on your powers of observation. Those vagrants should know that since they live on our dime, they also live by our mercy. I can do anything to them, and they can't do shit. My plan was perfect. It's necessary. And I don't have to explain myself to you. You're from nowhere. So, you're nobody. Become a keeper, and you'll have the right to punch me in the face. But, as it is, you'd only get thrown in jail for starting a fight with a keeper. The refugees are a tumour on the healthy body of the Horns of the South. Remember this, and make wise decisions. Still hanging around? Must be desperate. You'll see the truth soon enough.
It's nice to have a break.
Just another peaceful moment.
Do you mean the document with information about the course, weather, position, and speed of the ship, as well as all of the stops and other occurrences kept by the captain or the first mate? More specifically, the document from the bridge of the Andraste, which sank tragically in nearby waters in the year 513. Indeed, we have it. Please wait here. Here it is, though I doubt those records will tell you anything, since the weirdness surrounding Avalon made sailing impossible. The knowledge of the precepts of navigation has been forgotten. Oh, no. We know that. You should have mentioned that you're looking for the wreck of the Andraste rather than the logbook. Every keeper knows that the Andraste was swallowed by the ocean. It's near what's currently known as Smuggler's Bay. Here, I'll mark it on your map.
There are a few retired keepers living there. They might tell you about the good old days if you ask them nicely. There are also some refugees from north of the island, since we had nowhere else to put them. I don't really know much about what's going on in that place. I just make sure they have everything they need, more or less. You can always go see for yourself. People fleeing from bandits, from the weirdness, you name it. I wasn't exaggerating when I said we were the last beacon of hope this far south. For these people, we are. Don't know how many more we can take, but that's a problem for another time. Captain Hagen, well, he was a man driven by pride and a certain disregard for caution. He sent men to explore those old tunnels beneath the keep. Somehow, he got it into his head that there was something valuable down in those tunnels. Treasures, relics, who knows what else. But the truth is, we know what was there. In the Age of Legends, it was just a hospital. There was some kind of outbreak or plague, and the place was sealed off. Nothing left to find, or so the records say. Yes, it weighs on me more than I'd care to admit. If I could, I'd see them laid to rest. But no captains ever bothered. It seems they thought it was a fool's errand. Maybe not worth the risk. If you're mad enough to try, then by all means, go ahead. Just don't expect any keeper to follow you. I really don't have men to spare. But maybe it's time to make it right. So, thank you, I suppose.
Owen? Yes, he's my best friend. We don't even need words. Heck no! You should have seen Owen 20 years ago. He was sharp as a pin and could get anything done. If you wanted something, you went to Owen, and he always found a way to help you. Politics. What else? Owen survived 3 captains. One was terribly lazy. He just sat there like moss on a log and did jack shit. That frustrated Owen. Then there was another one. He was afraid of everything. So all he did was kiss Camelot's ass. And that blocked Owen's ideas to do something meaningful with this fish shack. And when it was finally Brandon's turn, Owen was already fed up with all this. It's funny, isn't it? First captain who doesn't mind introducing new ideas, and our local revolutionary has given up already. So now he just putters around in his little garden trying to find some peace in the twilight of his life.
Safe travels, and don't let the road wear you down. Just keep your head down. Don't keep me waiting. How many of those vermin are down? And? No, he doesn't. He knows better than that. Ah, look. If I give you something to do, will you stop talking? Here, take some seeds. Find a free plot and grow whatever you want. That'll teach you to appreciate some peace and quiet. Besides, I'm a bit curious to see what will come of it. Keep your head down.
So...
Stay quiet. Stay safe. You doing okay? From a financial I should stay out of trouble. And how did my traps work? Quite the technological marvels, aren't they? That's what I like to hear. You are an invaluable first officer. But our work isn't done yet. We need to solve the seagull problem on Avalon once and for all. You'll search for their nests and destroy them without mercy. Burn the nests, shoot the parents. It's the only way to eradicate the evil for good. Serious times call for serious measures and decisive people. I see no other way. The nests will keep coming back, but don't even think about giving up. Only consistency will save us. There will be less of them with time, you'll see. Go. Fulfill your mission, my brave first officer. How many of those flying rats have you taken down so far?
Eyes forward, and mind your step. Let me guess. He's trying to rope you into his campaign against Avalonian seagulls. It's a well-known story. All the Keepers know of Gwylin's obsession, but it's less amusing than it sounds. You see, Gwylin is from a coastal village. His father, a fisherman, worked hard to feed his family. He instilled a deep hatred of seagulls in Gwylin, claiming they were our greatest enemy. He taught his son how to kill them effectively, and insisted they were agents of the Four Dwellers. Essentially, yes, but he wasn't always like this. When he joined, he just didn't like seagulls and avoided them. I gave him simple jobs away from the walls, and everyone was happy. Until one day, he asked to serve on the walls. I agreed because I thought he'd simply got used to the birds. I had no idea I would be contributing to feeding his obsession. I spoke to him. Between his rants, I heard a confession I didn't expect. When Gwylan was only 7 years old, he saw a flock of seagulls attack his father and pluck his eyes out. Is it true? Or the ramblings of a madman? It's not for me to decide. Don't get me wrong, Gwylan is harmless, and he's a good soldier. But he can't be helped. Whatever he's asked you to do, just ignore it. Don't argue with him, it's not your responsibility. If he brings up seagulls, just pretend you didn't hear him. That's what we all do.
Stay quiet. Stay safe. You better not be slacking. Those gulls won't kill themselves.
It's no secret. He's just an old, bitter man who hates the entire world. And I'm a part of it, so, well, it is what it is. That's all. He told that tale about the tunnels more times than I can count. To anyone who'll listen. But these days, it seems nobody does anymore. I've heard it plenty of times already, believe me. To him, those old friends of his were everything. They meant more than his own son, that's for sure. He'd go on and on about it. If I'd been there, if I'd gone with him, he won't let it go. Sometimes I think that if Fergus had let him go into those tunnels and meet the same end as his brothers, he might have found his peace. Or at least quit drinking. Stay out of trouble. Keep your head down.
Ah. No. Ah, yes. That old house. That place has been empty for years. The story goes, the last owner, Keeper Galen, threw himself into the sea one stormy night. Some folks whisper of curses or restless spirits, but I say it's just talk. The captain put it up for sale ages ago, but no one's had the guts or sense, if you ask me, to take it. If you're thinking of buying it, go for it. Make it your home. Every house deserves someone to fill it with life again.
You look like you're enjoying yourself.
Oh, a wanderer in the sunken village. You must be lost. Back in the day, you just needed to look at the stars and you'd know where you were going. Now, even they are misplaced. Island Asylum? I don't remember being there, not clearly. But when I look at your face, something stirs. Yes, I'm sure we've crossed paths before. And look at you now, out in the world, breathing the fresh air. That's something to treasure, my friend. Freedom is a gift, even when it feels heavy. Enjoy it. I guess I'm just an old man listening to the sound of the sea. Every wave carries a story, you know. Some are whispers, others are roars. I like to think they're keeping me company. Long ago, I decided to wait for something to happen. So I'm waiting. For what's ahead of me. But I can feel that it's closer than ever. Everything that's around us, it's not yet the end. And that thought really bothers me. Monsters? I think you misunderstand. I don't see any monsters here, only lost villagers, still clinging to their home. It's sad, but as you can see, not much depends on us. The world just keeps on happening, and you happen along with it. They were given some time which they've tried to use as much as they could, that's all. I'm glad they allow me to stay here despite what happened. I like this place. It's the cycle of life. There's nothing to be afraid of. If you're afraid, it means you're struggling with something too much, my friend. Sometimes you just need to sit and look. Watch everything turn. The sunken village was not always sunken, but one day someone, undoubtedly important, made a decision, undoubtedly necessary, that it would be better to make it so. So the wave came and made the village into the sunken village. And its inhabitants, well, you can see for yourself. I know that some druids did it. Specific individuals, although their names have long been forgotten. This is no great mystery, my friend. You'd have to ask those responsible for the flood. Who knows what's going through people's heads? Maybe someone ordered them to do it. We'll never know. That's a good question. Maybe they burnt during the charred conclave. Maybe not. Nevertheless, the punishment was delivered and justice prevailed. Once again, the world was made a better place. At least that's what those who set fire to the stakes preach. All in the name of the Word. Among others, this wouldn't have happened if not for Camelot's desperation. Hey, many tragic decisions were made. I don't know if the word was so unambiguous or if its interpretation failed. What happened on the fields of the charred conclave wasn't just about the flood, my friend. It was about things and forces we don't understand. Long ago enough for people to have no chance of discovering why it happened. And yet, recently enough that this place still reminds us of it. Now the village is what it is, and the past has washed away. At least it can still be home for them. And I'll stay and look. These are interesting times indeed. I have everything I need, the entire world in one place. Before you go, I would like to ask you one thing. Who are you? I understand. I see you, I hear you, and I have a feeling that you will find what you are looking for. Farewell, and thank you for visiting me, my friend. You can come keep me company whenever you want. The sunsets here are beautiful. Safe travels, child. May fate be on your side.
Those lads deserve better than to... Feels wrong.
I cannot say for certain. My memory remains too clouded. It seems familiar. I do not feel my soul bound to it, but I know our path shall lead us here, one way or another. Something lingers beyond this gate, something ancient. That much I know. We'll find the truth soon enough.
Eyes forward, and mind your step. You actually did it? Cleared out those tunnels on your own? Every captain before me thought it was a fool's errand, not worth the risk. And how are those tunnels? Salvageable? Aye, that it does. Camelot won't be eager to finance the repairs. But knowing the threat's been dealt with is a victory in itself. Perhaps someday, we'll see them restored. Until then, we can at least rest easier. So the Keep owes you for this. Here's your reward. And what about Goban's friends? Did you find any trace of them? Give those to Goban, if you haven't yet. He's restless, but maybe seeing those again will help settle him. Might even help him get his act together.
You went down there and came back with their tags. Damn, didn't think anyone would ever bring those back up. Lads must be resting a bit easier now, or so I'd like to think. They deserve better than to be left in that pit. You did right by them, stranger. Hell, you did right by me too. So, let's drink to that. Why the hell would I do that? I want to celebrate. You can't celebrate with seawater and fish, you dummy. Did I? Oh, I don't remember. And if I don't remember, it doesn't count. But maybe I did say that. I started cozying up to a bottle the day I came back alone from those damn tunnels. I guess it's time I made good on my word. For them. For me. This old fool is done with the booze. I think I owe you. More than I got words for. The guts to go down there, and you brought back what I couldn't. That's something I won't forget, stranger. I'm done with the drink, and my brothers are at rest. You did right by us, friend.
See you around.